right now. Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope everyone is having a fantastic little day. Welcome to the most watched show on the planet. I'm here once again, Albert Paul, together with my friend, the Dizzle, also called Super Genius.
Yeah, I'm just sending out messages saying I'm live with the Apostate Prophet, who's always right on time.
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about. We were just on
In
time.
opposite world.
Yeah. So, what's up, David?
What's up? Have you not been paying attention, AP? There's all kinds of stuff going on. Hey, check this out. This is kind of funny. So last month, apart from the infamous holes in the narrative month of a couple years ago, last month, April, was the worst month for Dawa in history ever. Like there's never been a worse month for Dawa than April of 2023. You had the Pakistani sheikhs crying their eyeballs out on stage because they're writing Muhammad on their penises and stuff like that. And they're like freaking out. And it's like, how do you think this is a good idea, guys? How do you think this is a good idea? Threatening to burn cities to the ground to protect your to protect your prophet from having his name written on people's private parts, right? So you had that going on. And then you've got Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa. They're doing their show on Secret Second Wives, and we're all looking at that going, this is horrifyingly evil. When if you look at the feedback they're catching from their fellow Muslims, it's, what are you doing with these girls in a room right in front of you with their faces exposed, right?
Yeah.
So they're catching it from everyone. They're all in trouble. But I mean, they're letting the cat out of the bag that, hey, even though Islam gets criticized for polygamy and we say, oh, that's just in times of war. Actually, no, we all want it. We all want it right now. We're all polygamous and they're declaring men are polygamous by nature. And so women need to bring themselves in line. Anyway, all the stuff we always say, this is what Islam teaches. And they say you're liars. And now they're proclaiming it from the rooftops that that's what Islam teaches. In addition to all that, you had Daniel Hakikachu firmly establishing Islam as the official religion of child marriage everywhere. Anyone who wants to marry a kid, Daniel Hakikachu has made it known that he's got a religion for you. All that stuff was going on. And dude, I kid you not, April 30th, I'm sitting there thinking, wow, it's going to be a while before we have another month like this. It's going to be a while before anything happens that's this damaging to Islam. The next day, May 1st, Andrew Tate says, hold my Bugatti. And Andrew Tate sets off the Andrew Tate Quran challenge, where he actually challenges people to rip up and desecrate the Quran. That's how he started. That was May 1st. That's how he started off May, right after I was convinced there's no way to have a worse month for Dawa.
Yeah, and the context here was that so basically there was this whole Satanist conference where a woman ripped up a Bible, which is of course a very courageous act. Nothing ever happens by if you do that. And then in response, Andrew Tate said, "Try the Quran if you're so brave." Of course, pointing out for us again, once again, as he did before, that if you offend Christians, nothing will happen to you. You will get away. It's not a very brave act. But if you offend Muslims, you should be scared. You should be terrified. He said before in a video that if you say something about Jesus or about Christians, then nothing will happen to you. But if you say something about Muhammad, then you will not be able to walk down the street before
he said you'll be dead before you reach the end of the block.
Yeah, exactly. So just as he did back then, now again he's pointing out to us that we should be afraid of Muslims. We should be afraid of the wrath of Islam. And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't people call that like Islamophobia nowadays?
Yeah, if we say, hey, Muslims will kill you for this, but no one else will, we're called racists and Islamophobes. But Andrew Tate says it, and all the Muslims go, "That's right. That's because it's the truth. It's because we have the true religion, and everyone else are all cowards."
And look at this. I mean, it's not like this is a very unpopular tweet. The tweet, 8 hours in, had 64,000 likes, and a good ratio here. And lots of people actually supported him and were like, "Yeah, they will never dare to do this. We will show them. How dare they?" Not knowing that people have done this, people have done this.
Yeah, I was talking to Robert Spencer a little bit about this. Like how out of touch is he that he still thinks things are like they were in like the 80s after the Salman Rushdie thing, and everyone threatened him and then everyone backed down, and he still thinks that we're like in that time period where everyone's scared to make fun of Islam or Muhammad or the Quran or anything. You don't realize, dude, you're in a different world, and people will gladly do this to a Quran.
And what happened? So as a result of this whole tweet here that Andrew Tate made, which is very, very dumb on his behalf, he's basically provoking and inciting people to actually desecrate the Quran, right? So he is calling people to do this if they are so brave. And of course, there are lots of people around the world who are brave.
Yeah, isn't this weird though? Like, it's this weird situation where you've got one group that is the most fragile, psychologically speaking, fragile group in the world. Not everyone, just like the champions of Dawah and lots of the leaders and so on, lots of the people, extremely fragile about anything remotely critical of their religion. And you would think if you are the most fragile, delicate group in the world when it comes to criticism, you would want everyone to be as respectful as possible around your stuff and not be running around, "Ha ha, I don't think you'll rip up my stuff. Ha ha, let's see you try. If you're so brave, let's see you try it." Right? But that's the route he went, and didn't go. I don't think it went the way he planned.
Yeah. What was he even expecting? I don't even understand. Like, he's not very smart. I mean, he's the guy who snitches on himself on camera and basically admits to his fans that he does like tax fraud and stuff like that. But what in the world was he actually thinking when he made this tweet? I'm really wondering.
Yeah, he seems out of touch with things that are going on. Like it's like he's just late, right? Like he's 10 or 20 years behind what's actually going on. And so that he really thinks that we're all still in that same boat where no one's gonna make fun of the Quran or anything. And so he just blurts that out, and he doesn't realize, dude, that was like 1980s.
He likes to do these things too. Like he likes to say something and then he's like, "Look, I am very smart. I am very intelligent. I'm way ahead of everybody in this. I've thought this through." Like he talks like that about different things that he comes up with, like very, very stupid things that I thought about when I was 12. And I wonder what he would say about this. But see, it happened very quickly, right? He made this tweet. He thought he really did something. People liked it. you and I and many others then said, "Hey, Andrew Tate is making a challenge here. How about we should, listen to the challenge and meet this challenge and rip up the Quran?" And just a few days later, he deleted the tweet. Right? He deleted this. Right?
Yeah, yeah. He eventually. I mean, he left it up longer than I thought he would, but yeah, he eventually deleted it. There were too many people. There were even lots of Muslims complaining, like, "Why are you encouraging people to rip up the Quran, you giant moose head
Idiot, idiot." So,
no, he really does seem to be completely out of touch. Like I'll see, he tweeted the other day. He retweeted like some LGBTQ pastors. Oh no, he tweeted there was a Christian woman. There was a Christian woman who is also a porn star. That's what he tweeted. Here's a thing. Hey, I'm a Christian and I'm a porn star. And he said, "This is why I left. This is why I left Christianity." I've actually seen this was a problem. This was like 10 years ago. There was a Muslim woman who was on the cover of Playboy. There was a Muslim woman who was on the cover of Playboy in the UK. And then there was this video that we didn't know that in certain places in Europe, it can be a news program and you can actually show nudity and stuff like that. We didn't know because you can't do that. You can't do that in the US, but apparently in the UK, you can. And so there was like this program that about a Muslim woman who was doing webcam pornography, and she was saying, I'm a Muslim. I just, who cares? Who cares? Who cares if I'm doing this? And we started sharing this. Hey, look at this. Look at this Muslim woman. What's going on here? And a couple people shared it without actually watching it all the way through because it eventually showed her naked. They were like, take down that link. Take down that link. It's linking to an actual naked woman and so on. But anyway, notice it's the same thing with him saying, "Hey, there are LGBTQ pastors now. This is why I left Christianity." He said that a few months ago, and it would literally take you a 5-second Google search, look up LGBTQ mosque, to see you've got the exact same thing in mosques, and so he doesn't seem to be aware of it. Right?
That doesn't count. Yeah.
He doesn't. It's so weird. It's Islam will never allow this because we'll kill you all. Islam will never allow you to desecrate the Quran because we'll kill you all. Islam will never allow LGBTQ stuff in mosques and so on because we'll just kill you. It's like, what planet do you live on, dude? Everything you're saying no one will do is happening all around you. And you're on. I guess he's in jail and house arrest, and then in house arrest, and so maybe he just isn't paying attention. But my goodness, if you have absolutely no clue what's going on in the world, you should probably not be running your mouth about what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. I was going to look for another footage. By the way, speaking of this whole issue here with Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan Tate, there was a video that I just saw yesterday or so where Tristan Tate, I guess 10 months ago or a while before that, goes to Switzerland and then tries to open a bank account and move his money there, and they refuse. They reject it. They say you can't because of the nature of your business and what all your money is tied to. And then he goes in front of the camera and makes a few comments about how the banks reject him because he's in businesses like gambling and casino and pornography and prostitution and this and that.
Still is.
And that was just a few months ago. That was just before the whole arrest and all that happened, I guess. So it's very funny. I want to put this out there again and again. Like when people say, "Oh, those are things in the past. They are not in the business anymore." What are people talking about? What in the world are people talking? Even if Andrew Tate himself allegedly says that he's no longer in that business, it's obviously not true. We obviously have a lot of evidence to the contrary, right?
Yeah, you had that Muslim woman who just went to sign up for the PhD program. And keep in mind, guys, the PhD program, that is the program that Andrew Tate and Tristan came up with that is specifically about seducing women, getting them to fall in love with you, and then convincing them to become your webcam girls and hand over the money, and how you can trick them into thinking they're getting 50% when actually you're taking way more. They have an entire course on this. It's the PhD actually stands for like pimping hose, doctorate or diploma or something like that. It refers to pimp and hose. But yeah, so a Muslim woman messaged them and said, "Hey, is that course still available?" Yep, totally. Notice the PhD and OnlyFans programs. So notice these are programs that teach you how to become a successful webcam pimp and pornographer.
Let's look at this.
Tate is still making money off of them. That he's still getting money, and they're saying, "Yes, you can. Of course, you can." This is all still going. This is still going on right now, May of 2023. They're still doing this.
So here's a Muslim woman. Her name is what's her name again? Sophia Sabreen. She has a big beef with the Muslim apologists who are very popular right now, like Mohammed Hijab, Daniel Kikichu, Al Dawa, and all the others. And she did this whole, mildly undercover thing where she where she contacted Andrew Tate's business and applied for their services, for their courses, including the PhD and the OnlyFans package. And she then got responses from them in order to prove that these things are still ongoing. So I don't know how much of that is covered here in this 2-minute video on Twitter, but we could watch it for a little bit just to get an idea.
So I have produced the proof. Now it's all up to you. I've done my bit. I've shown you these people, they are astray and they are leading you astray. When you see Mohammed Hijab's videos, literally, there is no mention of the fact that this man is a pornographer and online.
So here's she has a much longer video where she shows the whole background, where she actually sends an email to these people and they then respond to her after a while. But here is somebody responding clearly from the domain belonging to Andrew Tate's business by the name of Morpheus. Of course, here's the obsession with Matrix, which, by the way, is
Fighting the Matrix.
Yeah, is a movie about trans identities.
And that's someone who's specifically assigned to this stuff. This is Morpheus at CobraTate.com.
Yeah. So it says, "Hi, this is not Tate. My name is Morpheus. I'm assigned by Tate to respond to the form you filled out. PhD, meaning pimping host, something." degree, and OnlyFans are only available through the war room. Message me on Telegram and we can discuss your situation further. I think she then points out in the original video that she actually went on there and tried to get in touch with them. And so what happens is,
sisters or wife, those are his, the women who do this kind of business, those more money or something, because these are the filth of the society. Then they say, oh, this was not consensual. This was non-consensual.
So she basically exposes these people and points out in a longer video that you can also find here. In a 20-minute video, she exposes the whole thing.
Wait, let me read that. What'd that say?
Wait. Which one? This one? This
well,
one?
She had them named on there.
Oh yeah. Where was that? Okay, here. That's it. This is it, man. You're looking at it.
No. Oh, yeah, there we go. So does Andrew Tate continue to run his pornography and online prostitution business? Would any noble and righteous Muslim endorse and promote a pornographer and brothel owner? No. Why are Daniel Hakikachu, Mohammed Hijab, Hamza Andreas, 5 Pillars UK, Gabriel Romani promoting a pornographer and brothel owner? Well, I mean, I actually know the answer. It is sort of built into Islam that if you're important enough, you don't have to follow the rules.
Yeah.
You don't have to, right? I mean, look at Muhammad, right? Everyone, I've received a revelation. You can marry up to 4 women and girls. You can have you can have an endless array of sex slaves, but up to 4 women and girls.
This is funny.
Little later, Muhammad, why you got 9? Because I received a revelation that I'm so important, I get to do what I want.
This is only for you, not for the others, only for you, because you are so special.
Unless you're Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. So here she shows how she first contacts him through their own website, where she says her name is Victoria, and she says, "I was looking for the OnlyFans Fortunes course and the PhD program. I heard fantastic views about these. Really want to buy them. Please help me. Where can I find them and how much are they for? Thank you." And she sends this. Then she is given this whole little questionnaire. Why are you interested? I'm interested in a PhD OnlyFans Fortune course. I really want to buy them. And later she gets a standard response. Then She goes into this chat. Where can I find the OnlyFans fortune scores? She asks. They say in the war room. Where are you where were you interested in joining? So you mean the war room and CobraTate.com? She's clearly trying to get it clearly out here to show it to everybody. Tate's war room. Yes. Thanks. She is doing it very, very well here.
But I mean, think about this. You've got Andrew Tate, and you've got you've got this guy who's an actual porn and gambling and all this stuff kingpin. That's how he makes his money. And then he says, hey, I'm a Muslim and I'm still going to keep doing all this stuff, but I'll cut back on alcohol. Can I be your hero? And they're like, yes, you'll be our new hero. And the champions of Dawa, all the kingpins of Dawa, all openly embrace him and wouldn't dare call him out for any of this. And then they continue supporting and upholding and pointing people towards an actual pornographer who is training a younger generation of Muslims to seduce, manipulate, brainwash girls into becoming your porn stars so that you make money while they're doing porn.
This is a very important point.
Yeah, and then you have a woman who's saying, what in the world's going on here? What if we become that we rally around an actual pornographer as the new hero and champion of our religion? Have we lost our minds here? And what do? They blast her. How dare you? How dare you? You're just jealous. Yeah. You're just jealous.
And they say stuff like, as Muslims, we should cover the sins of our fellow Muslims, not expose them, and stuff like that. And what Iris pointed out is very important. This is not just about Andrew Tate himself, running a certain business and doing things that are not supposed to be done, like committing sins and all that. This is not about, he's still a sinner, but he will slowly learn. No, this is about Andrew Tate still having a business where he teaches other people, thousands of people, in return for money, how they can, in his words, pimp hoes, how they can lure girls who are, vulnerable, and build these shallow relationships with them, and then basically use them or dump them. Part of the whole program, by the way, I watched a few videos I saw before, are Andrew Tate saying stuff like, teaching people how to pick up virgins and then dump them because virgins are especially, valuable and stuff like that. They still have these things on their platform. They still teach these things. Is this what Muslims think is good? But this is probably, maybe this is a miracle. Maybe it's a miracle. Islam is so beautiful that even such horrible people can still continue doing their thing, but also like Islam and also become Muslims. This is actually a miracle.
Hey, look, I know you're joking because you're a dumb atheist, but when I see stuff like this, I'm like, there has to be like something spiritual and demonic going on here, right? Or like God punishing them, right? Like when I say there's no way anyone who's thinking through this could think that it's a good idea to prop up a pornographer as the champion of your religion simultaneously with propping up a guy who's officially declaring you to be the religion of child marriage, and simultaneously, well, we want second wives and you're evil wives if you don't want us to have our second wives and stuff. It's like there's it reminds me of like in the Bible where it would say God hardened his heart. It would be a kind of punishment, like, oh, that's the road you want to go down. Now I'm going to make you go down that road, and you don't have it. You are bound to it now, and you just keep doing the stupidest stuff imaginable. But it's, my goodness, you would think that no one could actually be this stupid.
Here's another example. Look at this.
To understand is the
I don't know why she did this extreme slow motion here.
blameworthy business activities that he engaged.
What's happening here?
What happened to the audio, man?
I don't even know. I didn't turn anything off. It's still on.
Keep in mind, this is Hamza Andreas. Do you remember he was in that that leak of several years ago?
I know that. I just wanted to mention that. I don't know why the audio is cut out here.
He engaged blameworthy.
Oh, okay, yeah, here.
To understand is the blameworthy business activities that he engaged with regards to the women folk, etc. He stopped this, I think, a year before he became Muslim. Also,
he stopped this a year before he became. He's still doing it, Hamza.
It's still right up there. So this is what I don't. These people, I don't understand. Oh, I guess I do, but I'm just saying this rhetorically. But these people actually, like, they want to have Andrew Tate rally around him and then go on podcasts and go into the public and actually make excuses for him and explain that, oh yeah, no, he already stopped those things. You know, he's completely different now. He's learning. He changed. Would they have the same enthusiasm about you or me if it came out that we were running such a business? Would they even give us the benefit of the doubt?
We would never hear the end of it. Even you as an atheist, right? Even you as an atheist, they would be, you see, this is what atheism leads to. This is what it produces. This is what lack of faith in God produces. It produces people who want to do pornography and stuff. And wait a minute, you got, as the like champion of your religion, an actual pornographer. You all like jumped on me. He is literally training a younger generation of Muslims how to do this. And the example he's setting, notice he's still got all the money coming in for his pimp and hose diploma or whatever. And he's constantly bragging about all the money he's giving to charity and I guess giving to the dawah and so on. So guys, like, he's funding your religion with pornography and training the next generation to do the same thing. And you guys love him for it. I mean, you love him for it. He's your hero. This is interesting stuff.
Yeah, this guy Hamza Andreas, he is, as you just mentioned, he was also part of that whole league on that website. I don't know, was it Ashley Madison or something like that?
It did have a name, something like that.
Yeah.
And that was a situation. He was I've never made a video about this because, I mean, at the end of the day, I'm more concerned with like people's arguments and evidence and stuff like that than
I wouldn't go into this as well. But
I'm not interested in how screwed up these guys are behind the scenes and so on. Although, as you just pointed out, if we were doing something like that, if your name came out or my name came out in some Ashley whatever leak or something like that, we would never hear the end of it to this day. But he's one of the pillars of the Dawah community for a long time. His name came out in this leak along with his description of the stuff that he's interested in, and it's some sort of hookup site where you go to different areas and hook up with different women and stuff. And he said it was all a setup. It was all a setup against him.
Yeah, here's the article from Yahoo. It says, Islamic preacher found on leaked Ashley Madison list. Islamic preacher Hamza Andreas has been allegedly named on the leaked list of members of the adult website Ashley Madison. The well-known UK preacher has denied signing up for an account on Ashley Madison, the infidelity dating website. So
infidelity dating website.
The website is specifically designed for. It's designed for married men to go and have to go dating on the website,
and said that it was a conspiracy by hackers to defame him. I remember when this happened, and so he was giving his explanation. Oh, it's all hackers, and then people are pointing out, hey, wait a minute, because they didn't just release the names; they released a bunch of the info associated with the account, and they're like, wait a minute, this says that your account, you signed up for your account in Australia at this time. You check it out. You were speaking in Australia at that time, at the time that the account was created. So what is that? And he's like, oh, no. That's what the hackers did. And they're like, wait a minute. They use your credit card, And it was like for over a year or something like that.
Yeah.
That it had been on there. And he's, I just never noticed the payments coming out of my credit card to all this stuff. And it's like, dude, you're clearly lying. You can't just own up to it. Although he should know. I mean, if he's learned anything from the Andrew Tate thing, it should be, dude, just fess up. Yeah, I did it. So what? I'm still on there. I'm still going on the Ashley Madison. I don't care. You guys are going to stop me because I'm doing dawah.
Yeah.
and they'd all be fine with it.
Yeah.
But by the way, little side note, I was when this became a news story, I was interested in how he was going to respond, whether he's just going to say, hey, I screwed up, blah, 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 something like that. I'm going to take some time off. Because Nouman Ali Khan, I mean, he got in trouble for, sexting or whatever he was doing with the girls. But I was interested in how Hamza was going to respond. And then I went on to, this was on his Facebook back in the day. And there were actually women saying, Hamza, you do not need to get these secret relationships. We will gladly be, your second wives. And so it's actually Muslim women saying, hey, well, you don't need to do this. We'll be there for you. And it's like, my goodness, what is this religion, man?
Oh boy.
It's like, I mean, all this stuff that's going on. How do they say? I mean, how does hijab and all, Ali Dawa and all these guys? I mean, how do they say with a straight face, look at the atheists, we don't want to be immoral like that? It's like, dude, you guys are seriously, you're now the religion of pornography and child brides and lying to your wives and all that, and you guys are all openly proclaiming that, and you're saying, oh, but we need to get away from atheism because that's immoral.
Absolutely.
These guys are nuts, man.
To be fair, this is the same
up.
religion that is also here like this.
Golden shower, golden shower.
Golden shower, gimp, get on your knees for your master. So this is the religion, man. This is the religion, the good religion.
Wow.
Yeah. Is there anything else here? Let's see.
Blame anyone to bring even forth.
Oh yeah. Here's Mohammed Hijab.
Anyone to bring even forth some level of criticism of Sinead OConnor about may indicate that our allegiances are not in the right place. And someone will say, well, Muhammad, you're being very gender biased. If this was a woman, then you wouldn't have the same attitude. If this was a woman, this and that. And no, I'm not. And no, we're not. For example,
you are. Liar.
She became a Muslim and she lived a very un-Islamic life before. And she was celebrated by the entire Muslim community.
What a comparison! Sinead OConnor, she's a singer, and after converting to Islam, she didn't change very much. She was still sharing music and stuff like that. That's not comparable to what Andrew Tate is doing. What a comparison here, man! Wow.
Yeah, and by the way, it's not just a man versus woman thing, although that is a massive component of this. It's not just a male versus female, and we have different rules. It's also a famous versus non-famous person. Yeah. They're obsessed with fame, and therefore Sinead OConnor also gets most of a free pass, right? In other words, they will let her get away with all kinds of things just because she's a famous person. So they do have that obsession. But guys, we've seen it a million times with the women who convert to Islam. They don't get 5 seconds to adapt, right? They instantly start getting harassed. How dare you not wear your hijab properly? How dare you not wear this and that? And they get harassed online until they obey. And Tate, meanwhile, still putting out his pimp and hose course to all his young Muslim fans.
You just have to give him time. You have to give him time. It's all right. He's just a new Muslim. You have to give him time. Even if he was a serial killer, even if he still continued killing people, you have to cover the sins of your fellow brothers and just give them time. They will eventually stop killing people and become proper Muslims.
In fact, I challenge anyone to bring even forth some level of criticism of Sinead OConnor about her previous misgivings and sins that rival that of Andrew Tate.
And good pause that, because I don't think he understands the issue here. So he's portraying this as Andrew Tate. Yes, he did some haram stuff back in the day, but then he became a Muslim and everything is I was about to say golden showers for some reason, but everything's golden now because of this. Anytime we have Captain Golden Showers here talking to us. But he's portraying this as, oh, Andrew Tate did a bunch of stuff a long time ago that he has repented of and turned away from, and now he's all totally great Muslim. And people are simply pointing to his past and saying, oh, look at this stuff he did in the past. That's not what's going on.
Not at all.
One, all the stuff that he did in the past was based on manipulation and deception and scamming people in order to control people to build your own wealth, to generate your wealth. You're using everyone around you to generate wealth. So one criticism is, hey, it kind of looks like he's doing this with Islam too, right? There's a question of, is this guy sincere at all? Or did he realize, hey, I'm getting criticized from every direction right now, except one. There's one group out there that is not criticizing me for all this stuff I'm saying about women, all the stuff that's getting me in trouble with everyone else. There's one group that is cheering for me. Hey, I bet I could join that group, and then I'll have a bunch of defenders who are defending me when I'm doing all this stuff. So one, there's a question of sincerity. So it's not just, oh, he did this stuff in the past, but he turned away from it. It's all the stuff that he did in the past kind of looks like exactly what he's doing right now. I don't mean with the pornography. I mean using people, manipulating people into generating wealth for himself. That's what it looks like. So there's a question of his sincerity. And then on top of that, he hasn't stopped this stuff. He's still putting out his OnlyFans training and his PhD program, training people to do this. And I mean, every video you see, he's sitting there with his shirt off and stuff. Now, I don't care if he sits around with his shirt off. The point is, if he were a Muslim woman in a bikini top or something like this, he would not hear the end of it.
Yeah.
You would never hear the end of it. And yet this dude just gets a free pass on anything he wants to do, including, as we showed a few months ago, calling himself God.
Yes.
He was calling himself God. Oh, by the way, I also we never shared these, but there are tweets from his followers where this is how it's happening according to them, according to some of Tate's followers. What Christianity was to Judaism, that's what Islam was to Christianity, and that's what Tateism will be to Islam. Right. So there's Judaism, and then the upgrade is Christianity, and then the upgrade of Christianity was Islam, and then the upgrade of Islam is going to be Tateism.
Yeah.
And that's it. These are his fans celebrating this. He's taking Islam to new religion status by adding Tateism to it, and they're cheering for it. And Muslims and the Dawa guys almost across the board. Sajid is the notable exception, as usual. They're cheering for this. They love it. It's like, what are you?
It's messed up.
It's
Look at
amazing
this.
stuff.
Look at this. So I sent Mohammed Hijab a message before about this whole stuff, which I want to share here. So Mohammed Hijab and we have a history. We messaged a lot. He messaged with me quite a lot. I sent him messages back. He asked me questions. I asked him questions, and so on. Eventually, with the whole Andrew Tate thing back in January, I sent him a message that read. This is properly visible here. It says, I'm genuinely curious. Are you not aware that Andrew Tate's activities, such as luring women into a porn business and exploiting them while brutally manipulating them and not letting them leave, are not things of the past, but rather still ongoing? Are you unaware that he still owns multiple businesses, sex, webcam, casino, etc., that are clearly haram and questionable beyond Islam? Are you unaware that he has a paid program where he and his brother still promote these inhuman and or haram things and tell others that they can also become exploiters of women for money? Are you unaware that he still owns women that he has sex with at home while they work for him? Unaware of the evidence that he raped on record one of his girls? I'm curious, how would you deal with the situation if I or another critic of Islam had been guilty of everything that he is guilty of? You attack me brutally over tiny things like a joke or a comment, but you just brush his crimes and his ongoing pimpery off because he converted to Islam for seemingly no proper reason. I'm serious. The way you guys are treating Andrew Tate plays into the hands of all opponents of Islam, but it personally blows my mind. I'm shocked. He saw this. It said seen, but he never responded to it. I then, of course, doubled down and said, so you read this but choose to ignore this message, although you normally respond? That speaks volumes. I hope you appeal some common sense, and I know you are aware of it. Even an Islamic sense of common sense. He has seen this too. It is marked here as seen, but has never responded. So the issue is, I knew he would read my message, so I specifically, deliberately lined out everything here and specifically asked him about the things that are still ongoing and on record, documented. And he read this, but he has no response to it. He doesn't say anything about it. What do you understand from this? I mean, from my interactions with Mohammed Hijab, from how he responds to stuff about Islam, about his personality, about whatever, and then he reads this, he clearly sees this, but then refuses to respond to it. This just looks to me like he is personally in denial, or he is aware of these things and he simply doesn't want to interact with the truth because they are currently just taking advantage of Andrew Tate's fame and using it to make Islam and the Dawah popular, no matter what, even in the most disgusting ways. I just don't see any other way here. This is huge.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, it's this is actually a problem for Hijab and Ali Dawah and this entire crowd. They've got their fans who support them, and it's like their entire goal is to show their fans that this system of Dawah works. Like you see, we're making a difference, and somehow in their heads, the greatest way to show that you're making a difference is to get someone famous, and that's like your main trophy that you can possibly get. And so you get an Andrew Tate converting to Islam. You don't really have anyone else, right? Because you can't even point to Sinead OConnor because she's like promoting feminism and stuff like that. So you can't even point to her and say, see, this is look, we've really been successful in getting through to this woman. So it's like Tate is all you got to cling to right now. All they have to cling to as far as you see, we're making a difference, is Andrew Tate. Other than that, it's a bunch of moaning and wailing about the avalanche of apostasy and people writing Muhammad on their penises and stuff, right? It's like you got nothing to celebrate here. Oh, we've got one famous guy right now. Okay, well, he's a pornographer and a pimp and everything else. Well, we'll give him a pass. We'll give him a pass this time. That's funny.
I forgot I wanted to make this show about drawing Muhammad on penises, but yeah, maybe next time.
You're gonna have to blur some stuff out, man. You're gonna have to blur some stuff out if we're going that road.
Oh, by the way, I want to give a quick shout out to IP. IP always sounds like I'm going to pee, but Inspiring Philosophy, Mike, he's going to have a live stream tomorrow.
It's funny you just said exposed, and we were talking about doing a show where we're writing Muhammad on penises and exposed.
No, Danny, so Inspiring Philosophy is going to have a live stream on Monday in which he will extensively talk about Daniel Hikikechu and the whole debate and basically expose these people as complete liars when it comes to their evidences and their research. And I've had a little bit of a preview of it, and he's again doing amazing stuff and pointing out their dishonesty.
He told me he has tons of stuff that he studied for the debate and didn't use because your time is limited. Mm-hmm. So he still has tons of like studies and journal articles and stuff like that, pointing out the problems with child marriage that he's going to go through in additional installments. But yeah, this is.
Yeah, I will share the link to this as well once we're done with this live stream, so that people can watch it on Monday. This will be good, and I will cut some stuff. He caught some really good things where Daniel Hikikechu and his team are referencing a research and making it look like the research says there is no harm in child marriage, but the research is obviously not about that. The research is obviously saying the opposite, and they then never actually mention the title of the research, apparently in an attempt to kind of cover it up and get away with it. And that's just insane. When I was arguing with Michael, and I was saying it's hard for me to understand if they are doing these things deliberately, dishonestly, or if they are really, really dumb. And so he thinks there is no way out. They're just lying to people right now. And
that is we already talked about this before, but when someone like Daniel is citing studies and so on, the vast majority of people never study. I mean, most of us aren't sitting around, let's go through the latest studies on child brides and stuff like that. We're not doing that, right? So when we hear, oh, and according to this study on child marriage, blah, 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 we don't know. We don't know if he's completely misrepresenting that. So we think, oh, okay, well, that study showed that. And then I mentioned after this debate, he said 3 or 4 things in this debate where he was referencing something where I actually knew what he was talking about. Like I was familiar with the passage he's citing. And in every case, he was massively distorting it. Yeah. And so the question is, is he completely stupid when he's going through sources and he's just too dumb? Here's the problem. This is a Harvard guy, right? This is a Harvard guy.
Allegedly,
you didn't make it through Harvard and whatever graduate school or anything. You didn't get through that not being able to read words off a page, right? So it really looks like, I mean, I get to give him the benefit of the doubt. Like the best case scenario for him is he's just like the sloppiest person in the world when it comes to reading and studying, right? Like he just glances at it, I got that, and then talks about it and then runs around the world for years saying what these studies have proven, even though he has no clue what they're doing. That's being as generous as possible. So if we're being as generous as possible, Daniel is completely incompetent and inept at reporting what is in sources. Yeah. That's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is he's deliberately lying about what's in these sources. So those are your picks. It's one or the other.
There's also a different I guess that would go into one of those as well. But sometimes I really think maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of leaning toward a conspiracy theory where Daniel Kikichu is paid by agencies to make Islam look bad and to make it crumble from the inside. And maybe that's what he's doing here.
Yeah, I get those thoughts with him, with Muhammad Hijab, with a couple of people. It's like, and it goes back to the same thinking of like, is this like demonic? Is it like actual spirits involved here, or is this God punishing them and their religion by making these people become their representatives? Or are they some sort of undercover agents sent to destroy this from within? But it's like you have to be thinking of something like that, because like you can't possibly be thinking, you can't possibly be thinking, you can't possibly wake up one day and you know what I want to defend at all costs. You know what hill I'm ready to die on? Child marriage. That's what I want. I want that to be my contribution to Dawah. Defending Islam as the religion of child marriage. That's what I want. It's like you can't, there's no way you came up with that without something else going on behind the scenes. But
I know it's messed up that he has such an obsession with debating in favor of the most shocking, barely likable, hated things in society. He's just there. He's like, I want to unapologetically say the truth about Islam and what it really is, and this, and we are proud of this, and everyone else is like, please stop. Except his fans, of course. His fans like it. They think it's based. Strange stuff, man. Hey, but what is with this photo? What is this, man?
I've seen people tweeting that picture saying Andrew Tate after seeing his Quran challenge backfire.
Yeah, that's what it says here. Yeah.
Top G Ma Alpha Beta Gamma after seeing people's reaction.
So this is the hashtag that David started. You started this, right?
Yeah.
After his whole challenge of
and it was just hey, let me add some random hashtag at the end of this, but I put Andrew Tate Quran challenge, and then people started posting some pictures and stuff. It wasn't until the next day when I looked at it, I was like, whoa, everyone's sharing stuff now.
Yeah. So after Andrew Tate started that whole thing, made that whole tweet about if you're so brave, try the Quran, and David then made this hashtag, and people started sharing. Wow, here's somebody burning it. Oh no, you can't do this. Okay,
gotta be careful.
Okay. I don't want to go through this live here.
Yes, yeah. that was a girl. That was a girl rubbing the Quran on her vajayjay.
Really?
Yeah.
That is funny. That is funny. Yeah, I should have probably. I didn't think this through. Uh,
But I mean, think about it. I mean,
well, I'm glad I just took
the-
it off the screen.
yeah, the Pakistani guys, the Pakistani sheikhs, they're weeping because people are writing Muhammad's name on their privates and stuff like that. And then Andrew Tate, "Duh, I challenge you to desecrate the Quran." And then women are posting pictures of them. Most people are like going in a burning direction. It's interesting to see the different directions people go. Like me, if I were to do something like that, it would be generally an artistic direction, making something beautiful out of all this evil. But you have people who go in the burning route. You have lots of people do a foot thing, like putting their feet on it. That's more of Middle Eastern background people, where that's a massive insult to have your foot on something. And then you got the people who go in like the toilet route, pictures of the Quran in toilet, or in a toilet, or around the toilet, or something like that. And then you have the animals route, where people get various animals stepping on the Quran and so on. So it's interesting what is the popular form of desecration for different people. But all of this comes about because Andrew Tate goes, "Duh, I don't think you'll do this with the Quran." And then people from around the world instantly do it.
Oh, this is hilarious. People actually responded to his tweet with these things. Eventually, he deleted it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you went to his tweet, there was it was interesting after his tweet had been up several days, because you'd go click on it and you'd see the challenge, and then you'd see people going, "Challenge accepted," and they're posting pictures of them desecrating the Quran. And you did have some comments from Muslims saying, "What are you doing? What are you doing? You're inviting people to desecrate the Quran." And you had the early comments, "That's right, they will never do this with the Quran. That's right, they're all scared," right? And so it was people who were like his fans who were saying, "You're right, you schooled them again," not realizing what was about to happen.
I pointed out we did this years ago, and nothing happened to us. We are still around, man. Like, we are still alive. Nothing.
That's what I mean. He's like completely out of touch. It's like, dude, we've been through this. Your guys learned their lesson and learned to keep their mouths shut about this stuff, and you're bringing it all back.
Yeah. Now I see some guy putting his penis into the Quran. It's very interesting stuff.
Can you? I mean, you wonder what convinced him to actually take it down, right? It's like, hello, Andrew. Yes, brother. This is Muhammad Hijab. Not sure you've noticed, but
the challenge is not
videos
going very
of
well.
What you said led to videos of women rubbing the Quran on their vaginas. Yeah. So, anyway. No. We shouldn't monetize that. No, you can't monetize that. No, you shouldn't start a website making money off women doing that with the Quran. No, come on. Come on. You have any idea how hard it is to defend you right now? Come on.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here's this one cute picture that I just find very, very interesting. Of a little cute dog stepping on the Quran. On Qurans. Yeah. I was thinking maybe we should do a special today where we take his challenge once again and rip up the Quran. But then I noticed that I don't have any Qurans left except for one that is on this pile of books, and I don't want to ruin the pile right now. So
yeah, I've got a couple Qurans around me, but they're the ones I actually use and keep. I have separate Qurans that are specifically designated for desecration. Those are the Arabic only Qurans, because it's funny, if you use an English Quran, they'll still do this. They respond to some of those pictures. That's not even a real Quran. It's got English in it. It's like, do you not realize what you're doing? You're telling people, no, get an Arabic Quran and desecrate that. It's like they did the same thing with the cat video. They sent all these messages. "Oh, a cat will never walk on a Quran. It's a miracle. This is the proof." And I went and I remember I put the Haleli Khan, which has English and Arabic parallel, and a cat walked all over it. And then I got all these messages. I'm talking like hundreds, if not thousands, of comments from Muslims. "Haha, that doesn't count. That doesn't count. Try it with an Arabic only Quran, and the cat will not walk on it." I'm like, are you serious?
It's like they're making requests here.
Yeah, tons of them. And it's like, no, desecrate the Quran this way. Don't do it that. Do it this way. And it's like, what is this? What is this? What are you guys doing? I mean, I'm happy to oblige. I'm happy.
You know,
I mean, but my goodness.
oh, you're Islamophobe. You're not doing it right. Do it again. Do it again, but differently. Do it the right way. Alhamdulillah. Do it the right way, please. I want to see it. Do it, please.
Oh wait, I just saw one of my Qurans. I see one of my Qurans on the shelf there that is specifically designated for destruction. Oh boy.
Sahih Bugatti.
Sahih Bugatti. Oh. Hey, Carfer. Did you come up with that, or is someone circulating that? Because I'm going to steal that. Anytime I quote Tate, I'm going to say in Sahih Bugatti.
Sahih Bugatti. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, now I see all those things. Maybe I should create a separate R-rated or X-rated stream where we look through all the all the footage of people desecrating the Quran. There is another issue. There is another guy, by the way, who is Sneeko. We talked about him fleetingly before. Who is basically, people call him like a discount Andrew Tate. He's like, he does whatever Andrew Tate does. He's a big fan of Andrew Tate, but he also now hangs around with neo-Nazis and creates conspiracy theories about Jews and says that Hitler did great things and stuff like that. And he also just converted to Islam, which, big coincidence. And people celebrated that. People invited him on their Islamic shows to celebrate. Look, another person converts to Islam, because the guy just converted to Islam because of Andrew Tate. And but the guy's life hasn't changed at all. He's still making streams with women. He still says that he just got drunk last night. He just published a video where he is having fun with his girlfriend, who is very, very, dressed for the summer in Florida outside, drinking beer, and so on. And this is another such case where Muslims are just picking up a random guy who doesn't care about Islam at all. This guy, I posted about him earlier, and just celebrating it and thinking, yeah, look, another convert to Islam. But this guy is an idiot. He doesn't care about Islam. He doesn't care about any of this stuff. He just wants to provoke and be popular.
Notice this is becoming the new thing. Hey, if you want some instant fans who will support you no matter what you do and no matter how horrible your behavior is, just say, hey, I've converted to Islam now, and you've got your defenders. And after that, you do not have to change your life at all. You could do anything you want. And they'll cheer for you because you're popular.
I just saw a video of him. I just saw a stream that he did like yesterday or so, where he is he's live on Rumble because he was banned from YouTube, and where he's sitting next to a girl and talking about all kinds of intimate things while talking about how he got drunk last night and not drunk the day before or something like that. I don't know. It's like nothing changed. But Muslims go around like, Alhamdulillah, the brother is a Muslim now. But there are some, of course, who, if you go into his comment sections, say stuff like, Sneeko, you are now a Muslim. You're not supposed to do this. You're supposed to, not be in the same room with a woman alone anymore. You're supposed to pray and this and that. These idiots actually think that guys like this sincerely and genuinely convert to Islam and want to practice Islam.
But I mean, notice the message that's being sent out right now because of Andrew Tate and Sneeko. It's, hey, you want an instant fame boost with no requirements and no consequences. Just say you're a Muslim now.
Yeah. That's how it goes. There was also talk of Sneeko going to Dubai and spending some time there with some rich people. And I don't want to... People have said a lot of things over the years about, certain states like the United Arab Emirates or Qatar promoting non-Muslim YouTubers and paying them to promote the country or their culture or their religion and stuff like that. And people say that there is a conspiracy going on, but I'm not. I can't say that is what's going on without knowing more about it, actually.
Yeah, you can't say in this situation, because we don't know. It would make sense of this situation if like these guys are just being paid to be the new public face of Islam. But we do know that stuff happens. I know two Arab Christian pastors who were both offered millions of dollars to convert to Islam, with the requirement that they had to say it was because of all the evidence for Islam. And one of them was told, you have to convert and then write a book on how the Quran showed you that Christianity is false and that Islam is true. And it was because you have to say it was because of you saw that the Quran is correct and it's correcting the errors of the Bible. And so do that and you're good to go. So you had that, and then you had the scientific miracles that were used for a long time. When that came out in the Wall Street Journal, how these guys were paid and given free vacations and stuff, and all they had to do was say something positive about Islam. And then there are other situations where, like this, you don't know, but you have good grounds to be suspicious. So the most famous book in this entire genre is Maurice Bucay's book, where he said that it's the Bible and the Quran in the light of science, where he argued that the Quran is scientifically accurate. This dude worked for King Faisal.
Yeah.
This guy worked for King Faisal, and he comes out, oh, after all this studying I've done, and by the way, never converted, but comes out and says he's got all this, he's discovered, after working for King Faisal, he's discovered all this amazing scientific evidence for Islam. And then they all run with that as their proof. You have to wonder, even people like Keith Moore that they point to, which was a guy who he got some sort of funding from the Middle East for his research showing that the Quran lines up with genetics, and eventually wasn't getting that money anymore and said he's not interested in the topic anymore when people had asked him about it. But you have to wonder. I mean, just think about this. If you go around and offer people from around the world money for supporting your religion, some of those people are going to take you up on that offer. And then we suddenly hear about, this person, this doctor, this that has found all this amazing evidence for the Quran, that the Quran is the word of God. Or Andrew Tate is converted, Sneeko is converted. It's like, wait a minute, I know for a fact you guys have people who are willing to give millions of dollars to people for supporting your religion. And then you've got these people standing up saying, hey, we've just discovered that Islam is true. It looks awfully suspicious, doesn't it?
It does. I'm thinking there was this guy, was it The Rationalizer?
He went through it. He actually did some interviews with some of the guys.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. He actually made an interview with one of those people who,
I think he did a couple, but yeah, it was the same thing. And it was after that Wall Street Journal article, where, by the way, guys, the methodology was brilliant. It's horribly evil and deceptive, but they brought dozens and dozens of Western scientists over to the Middle East. The guy who was doing it was best buddies with Osama bin Laden. That's the guy who's doing all this. Is one of Osama bin Laden's buddies. In fact, if you get the book that they put out because of that, it was Osama bin Laden is actually credited as someone who's funding the project, right? So this is like an Osama bin Laden funded project. But what they would do is they would bring dozens and dozens and dozens of Western scientists to the Middle East. They'd give them money. They'd pay for all their trip. They tell them, bring your spouse and so on. They're treating it like vacations and so on. And then this person would go in and sit down, and then they would give them a massively edited quotation from something in the Hadith or something like that, where they would. It's only people who are familiar with what the sources actually say who knew how edited these passages were. They would take something from a Hadith and completely take out what happens before it and what happens after it, because if they were actually given the full passage, they would say this is insane and idiotic. So they wouldn't. They would give them one little part that could be interpreted as correct, and then they would put it in front of the person and say, how could Muhammad have known this? How could Muhammad have known this? And guess what? the overwhelming majority of people said, come on, that's no evidence. That's not impressive. They ignored all those people, but they did get to a few people who said, oh yes, that's amazing stuff right there. How could Muhammad have known that? That's interesting. And then they take that and then they run around the world. You see, this is the proof of Islam. And so it's just this amazing scenario where they got that result by ignoring everyone who said that's a stupid argument. They ignored all those people. They only picked the people who actually, after being showered with money and gifts and a free vacation and so on. One of the guys in the Wall Street Journal article said it was mutual manipulation.
Wow.
They got some praise for their book, and all we had to do was praise their book, and we got free vacations in return. And this, you can still, if you go to a Dawa booth, they'll still be handing out the pamphlets with this as their evidence for Islam. Even Western scientists, when they're confronted with the Muslim sources, see that it's the truth. And there's
I'm telling
no
you,
way
if you don't care about honesty, if you don't care about any of those things, and if you just want to make some quick money for a little bit, if you are a white person especially,
oh yeah,
all you need to do is to go out and somehow make a video saying I converted to Islam after seeing the beautiful sights and being convinced by its wonderful arguments. Then make up a story about how you were a Christian and the Trinity never made sense to you, and you always knew something was up, and you always knew that there's some other belief out there. And then once you heard of Islam was like amazing, and you were. It totally appealed to you, and you heard a few arguments, and it was amazing, and all that. And make a video like that, and start making a few videos. You will get subscribers, tons of followers, and probably make money very quickly.
Yeah, better yet, to make it look even more legit, start off by saying, guys, the Trinity is really bothering me, but Islam is starting to look good because of because of Tawheed. Say that, and then let it go on for a couple months with them showering you with praise and so on. And then now I'm finally converting, and then change your channel to something about Dawa or something like that. And dude, you're rich. You're covered for the rest of your life.
I'm pretty sure that I have heard of different scholars as well who didn't convert to Islam.
This guy's the biggest dope in the world.
But who talks good stuff about Islam all the time, and who are paid by different governments. I can't name anyone right now, and I'm not sure who those people are, but I'm pretty sure that there are some out there who are that way.
We used to do shows and videos about that guy back in the past, because he would write articles for all these different news sources and stuff. But like one of them one day was Prophet Muhammad was the George Washington of his time, and there's an entire article pointing out all these amazing parallels between George Washington and Muhammad. Awesome stuff.
That's pretty amazing.
Pretty
Muhammad was everything good of his time. Yeah. All right. Anything else that you want to talk about? No, nothing at all. Let's see. Muhammad Mati said, David and AP, please talk about the Carmatian attack on Mecca, in which the Kaaba was demolished and the Black Stone was stolen for 20 years.
Then they brought it back and it was in pieces.
Yeah.
That's funny.
They were a sect in Islamic history that had a big claim on being the true Islamic. And they didn't. As far as I remember, I studied this a long time ago. They didn't care that much about the whole traditional, valuing of the location and the Kaaba and all that. But weren't they an offshoot that was closer to? I'm not sure. I have to look into that once again before.
It was a long time since I read something about that, but I think they were
they were Shia.
It was a Shia, yeah. It was a Shia.
They were Shia, right? Yeah. They were Ismaili Shia, I think.
Yeah, they took the Black Stone and then eventually returned it, and it was in pieces. So that's funny stuff.
Weren't those the one that who actually besieged Mecca, or was it a different? I'm trying to remember there. But
they took it over and took the Black Stone.
Oh, here. Carmatians were an Islamic Ismaili Shia movement centered in Al-Hasa in Eastern Arabia, where they established a religious utopian socialist state in 899 CE. Yeah, well, that's socialist. proto-socialists, I don't know. They were a syncretic branch of Sevener Ismaili Shia Islam and were ruled by a dynasty founded by Abu Sa'id al-Jannabi, a Persian from Jannaba in coastal Fars. They rejected the claim of Fatimid Caliph Abdullah Mahdi, belonged to Imamate, and clung to their belief in the coming of the Mahdi, and they revolted against the Fatimid and the Abbasid caliphates. Mecca was sacked by a Carmatian leader, Abu Tahir al-Jannabi, outraging the Muslim world, particularly with their theft of the Black Stone and desecration of the Zamzam well with corpses during the Hajj season of 930 CE. Wow.
Those guys went hard, man.
Jeez.
Hey, you know what? Hey, you know what's funny? They're like, hey, we're gonna desecrate the Zemzem well. We're like dumping these bodies in there. But then the Sunnis are probably like, what are you talking about? Muhammad said that nothing makes water impure, and plus it's magic water, and so who cares? I mean, we've got hadiths where Muhammad says it doesn't matter if there's dead dogs and used menstrual cloths and people dump their toilet buckets into a well.
Yeah.
It's still totally good water because nothing makes water impure.
He says water is water. Water is water. But yeah, so this is something that I'm not very, very well versed with. I would have to look it up and see like all their stuff. I don't know. I would probably talk about this.
I wonder if some future world leader is going to go in that route again. Like if Islam's going to become such a problem with all the child marriage and all this stuff, so someone's just going to go send in the special forces, take the Black Stone, and then the leader is going to be on TV. Hey, guess who's got your Black Stone or what's left of it? Look, if you don't want this thing permanently soaking in pig's blood, stop killing everyone and stop marrying kids. And just hold it hostage like that.
Do it. John Sandro said, what currency is that? I have no idea. John Sandro said, first live, first chat, first ever super chat. Thank you. We appreciate it. I'm just out of curiosity. I'm wondering what country that is from. But thank you. I appreciate it very much and welcome. Goldie said, love your content. Also big love and prayers to David and family for his recent loss. Same.
Oh, really? Prayers, AP? Thanks. Okay.
No. No, the same sentiment.
Too late. You already said it. You're praying.
Colton Connor said, no Muslims see the Father until they come through. Archangel's Media said, did Michael throw Christian canons under the bus? Canon law and church history recognizes young marriage, anachronistic to call church father pedos. Do you want to say anything about this?
Yeah, you guys, you have to be clear on what you're talking about when you talk about child marriage, right? Like you can say so-and-so was 14, and so we consider that a child and so on. And you compare that with like marrying a 6-year-old or something like that. So you're talking about prepubescent versus post-pubescent. There are all sorts of issues to take into consideration, but don't miss the sort of core point that Michael is making. We can learn that something is harmful.
Mm-hmm.
We can learn that something is harmful and then say, oh, now we know that this is harmful, so we need to stop doing this. And we can look at previous generations and say, oh, there may have been times when they didn't know that this was harmful. Was it still bad? Yes. But if they didn't know better, you don't judge them by the same standard as someone who knows that a practice is harmful. So you can look back and say, oh, so-and-so married such and such at 13 years old or 14 years old and so on. Okay, well, that's post, that's most likely post-pubescent. And would it have been better from a safety perspective to wait a little longer? Yes. You can point things out like that. That's different from saying that the eternal God of Islam said in his perfect eternal speech that he had all eternity to get exactly the way he wanted. He said it's okay to marry. I mean, according to Muhammad Hijab, if you just read the Quran, you get the impression that you can have sex with a 5-year-old, right? And notice that's exactly what Hakikachu was saying. At least Daniel was saying, wait till puberty. The Quran doesn't even say that. And then, so Allah in his eternal speech says you can have sex with a 5-year-old. Allah doesn't care. And then as his perfect moral example, the perfect pattern of conduct, he sends Muhammad, who marries a 6-year-old and consummates the marriage when she's 9. And so you're looking at that and saying, hey, is this the guy, the perfect role model and so on? No, that's a bad, dangerous, harmful practice. And so if you're going to say, but here's someone who at one point in history married a 13 or 14-year-old, right, we would definitely prefer that person waited longer. If anyone wants to establish someone as a pattern of conduct who married a prepubescent girl, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's a church father. I don't care who it is. No, don't take that person as a pattern of conduct. That's screwed up.
Yeah, so I don't want to speak in IP's name, but I mean he made it obvious quite a few times during the debate, after the debate, in reviews, in tweet responses to Daniel Gikichu and so on, in saying that Daniel Gikichu keeps responding with stuff like, Christians did it too, and Christians were okay with it, and canon law is okay with it. The Catholic canon law still has it on their website, which is, by the way, false. The currently updated Catholic canon law clearly says that minors cannot engage in a marriage. But what IP points out is that his perspective is that Christianity doesn't give you a list of rules, a set of rules as Islam does. It rather gives you principles to live by, and with those principles, with those foundational ideas, people may do things in the past that later on people learn are evil, are not good, are unacceptable. So Christians learn and abandon harmful practices and outlaw them with the updated knowledge that they know. And one of those things would be to marry minors, or to marry children, marry even pubescent minors. And so that is basically the essence of his whole idea. He doesn't stick to a certain scholar said 1,000 years ago that it's okay, therefore it is okay. That is Daniel Gikichu's view, for example.
Yeah, that is completely Islamic thinking, where if you do not have a specific command telling you what to do in a specific situation, you just have nothing. You have nothing to go on. Mm-hmm. Whereas Christianity, it gives you principles: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemies. Gives you commands like that, and then to seek the good of all people. Right. So if I'm seeking the good of all people, and I'm loving my neighbor as myself, and I'm doing unto others as, notice, guys, because Muslims don't seem to understand this. Show us your authoritative figure who has said exactly this situation. And I think IP replied like, okay, Jesus didn't say don't boil cats a lot, right? He doesn't say that. You don't need that, right? You just need to know that's a bad thing to do. And so as far as applying a principle, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Okay. If I were a 9-year-old girl, would I want some creepy old freaking pervert climbing on top of me and taking my virginity when I'm 9 years old? No, I wouldn't. Okay. Then don't do that. Don't do that to people.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Precisely. And you can follow IP about this further. He will have a whole stream, like a 4-hour stream or so, on Monday to expand on all of these things in a much more significant way. He can answer all your questions about that, which you want to ask here. Goldie said, love your content also. Oh, we already read this. Hey, AP. Do you consider yourself European? Some introvert. Do you consider yourself European or Asian, since Turkey is not geographically located in Europe, but in Asia? I don't know.
You're American.
I'm American, man.
Yeah.
I am.
Hey. You remember this one? You're American when you walk into the bathroom. You're Asian when you come out of the bathroom. What are you while you're in the bathroom?
What is that? What is that from? What is that?
European.
Oh, boy. Okay. Oh,
that was a stupid joke for kids.
Yeah. I never heard of that. See, I missed out. I don't consider myself anything, to be honest. I just think
that's right. You're nothing. You're nothing now that you've left Islam.
You're nothing, boy. I am a guy who was born in Germany to a Turkish family, who had a Turkish citizenship and now has an American citizenship and lives in America. So I'm officially an American with all that background. I don't really call myself anything. I just don't care. I don't know that much.
Marion said she didn't get the joke. All right, Marion. You're American when you go into the bathroom. You're Asian when you come out of the bathroom. What are you while you're in the bathroom? And the punchline is European.
Yeah, European.
Like you are peeing.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a stupid joke.
Yeah. It was terrible the first time. Now we had to hear it again. And but yeah. So that's the answer to your question.
Hey, here you go, AP. Here you go. What did Tennessee? What did Tennessee?
What?
Same thing, Arkansas.
Boy.
I'm remembering all these like stupid jokes.
This is the funny thing. When I was learning about American states, I'm reading them through. I'm looking at the map. I'm looking at them, and I think, oh, there's Kansas. And then looking at all the other states, I'm like, okay, here's Arkansas. And then I found out it's Arkansas. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. The Americans took so many words from so many different places. English in general took so many words from so many different languages that the rules go out the window.
Yeah. Admiral Yo Mamoto said, but Sneeko said he loves words of Quran. It must be the work of Shaitan. Probably.
Yep.
Very, very much. The amazing M said, hey, AP and Dr. David, you should invite Sneeko and have a conversation with him at some point. He is Andrew Tate apprentice. I could try.
Yeah. You guys could put the words out that we'd happy to have a discussion, but I don't think that's going to happen.
I personally think
if he started setting anything up, he would be warned not to talk to us. Just keep being a little influencer, and that's it.
Yeah, I think he's an extremely annoying individual, but I was sure. Yeah, I would have a conversation with him. It's all right. I would like to press him on a few things. Colton Connor said, AP and Dr. Wood, you are doing what? You're doing Jesus pleased.
1 sec. Go ahead and talk.
No, I'm not talking. Grace174 said, has Andrew addressed the Aisha thing yet? He should. He should address the Aisha thing. Address the Aisha thing or the Daniel Kikichi thing. What was that? Cruel. House of Hikmah said, don't be cruel to Allah's Rasul. Me. To Allah's prophet and messenger. Yeah. Now we come with these jokes. That's what you make super chats for. Did Delaware a New Jersey? Idaho, Alaska. I can't even say it. Okay, I let David read this one. Okay. Yeah. Please make terrible jokes in super chats from now on. Send super chats with terrible jokes to support this channel. Yeah. Moroccan, Irish born UK. I don't know where David went. I don't know if he'll come back. He means you guys are great. Kerver, thank you. I appreciate it. Azza made a super chat that doesn't say anything, but it's just £1. £1 from the UK. Weren't people celebrating? That was yesterday, UK time. Is it still yesterday? I don't know. The coronation of the king, right? That's so weird to me as somebody who cannot relate to loyalism and I don't know, that sense of patriotism in general. Monarchism. It's very, very strange to me that people in the 21st century, in 2023, find it so fantastic to celebrate a royal family that serves no purpose at all. Yeah, I know I'm going to get hate for this from some people here. A royal family that serves no purpose at all, just to be head of state, owners of a country, supposedly, of a monarchy, which doesn't serve any purpose at all. It's just ceremonial. That's it. And those people it belongs to them because they were born into it. Because some people in the long ago fought, and that's it. It's very absurd to me. And I'm sorry to say this. But I find it absurd today. I will find it absurd tomorrow. I found it absurd yesterday. And I'm not sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. Yeah. Sneeko the I don't want to I don't want to reference this issue. Everyone is talking about that when they respond to Sneeko. Everyone is making, apparently, because Sneeko admitted that he had he watched people have sex with his girlfriend or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, interesting stuff. Weird world that these people are living. And apparently he feels bad about that, but now people are making fun of it. And if he feels bad, I don't know. I don't even want to go into it. Colton Connor said Jesus is most pleased with AP and Dr. Wood. That's okay. Not with me, I'm sure. Not with me. I'm not sure, but I would assume under the circumstances, not with me, but probably with David Wood. Yeah. Under assuming, yeah. Yes. I'm a monarchist. We don't celebrate the family, but the office. Okay, but what exactly are you celebrating? I'm serious. I'm genuinely interested. What exactly is it about the monarchy that is worth celebrating? It doesn't make sense to me. Like, it is. It's not like celebrating a flag. It's not like celebrating a country and its values and its borders. All of those things mean something. The entity, the whole concept, the idea of a monarchy is just, it doesn't serve a purpose. Okay, yeah, maybe you are celebrating the history of it, but honestly, this might sound a little bit insulting, but when I see, for example, people talk about those two people who had this whole drama with the royal family forever. People were talking about that, and people go outside to see the royals, to see them walk down that line. To me, it feels like watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That's what it feels like to me. I just don't understand the point. I guess if you are born into it and you are raised with the whole traditional idea of valuing the monarchy, maybe it makes sense to you, but to me, it just seems kind of strange. Yeah. And David agrees with me completely here. I know.
I don't want to tell you what I think of all these British tyrants.
Yeah. But hey, to each his own, I guess, right? I don't understand it. I just have a very, very non-loyalist perspective. I don't know. Goldie said, I find it offensive that the Crown and the Vatican hold themselves up as humanitarians while hoarding enough wealth to feed the whole world. Yeah, especially, I don't know what, I talked about this enough now, but what does the royal family actually do with with everything they have?
I don't buy the idea that they have enough wealth to feed the entire world.
Yeah, not the entire world. That's probably an exaggeration here. Yeah. Damon said, sub to you. Keep saving people from Islam. Thank you. I appreciate it very, very, very much. Tourism? Somebody said something with tourism. Starter Rain said, I can see your point. Of course you can see my point. I'm right. No, thank you for agreeing with me. All those who disagree with me, leave, unsubscribe right now. Would be funny if people actually did that. Hello, Shaitanis. Who are you talking to? Thanks to the guidance of Shaky Booty, I reverted to Islam. Alhamdulillah. Now my name is Walid. Without all lies, Islam dies. That's good. That's good. That's a good name. That's a good name. Good name. Bukhari 4123 is mistranslated on Sunnah. What was that? 4123. 42123. What does it say? What is it supposed to say? Military expeditions led by the Prophet said to Hassan, abuse them with your poems, and Gabriel is with you, supports you. The another group of sub-narrators on the day of Qurayza, Allah's messenger said to Hassan bin Thabit, abuse them with your poems, and Gabriel is with you. Is this what you're referring to, or something else? Not sure. What do you know about this, David? You know everything?
No idea.
No idea. Okay. David knows nothing. Wu Lee said, "AP, did you read the Satanic Bible before?" No, isn't that just a mockery book or something like that? It's that comes from the Levian Satanist people, right? Who actually, for those who don't know, don't actually believe in the existence of Satan and God. They're just kind of an atheistic, provocative people. That was also, by the way, the whole thing that happened, which Andrew Tate referenced here, of this satanic conference where they ripped up the Bible. Those people actually don't believe that there is a Satan. They don't actually worship him. They don't actually believe that there is a fight between God and Satan that they worship. They believe that it is all false. They're atheists, but they somehow take the role of Satan as the actual interestingly good guy in that whole story, which they consider a fantasy, which to each his own, I think is, I mean, why would you build a whole...
Yeah, but what's interesting, so Fox News reported that, and then Andrew Tate did his Quran challenge. But apart from that, like, who would have cared, right?
Yeah.
Like,
nobody.
It was interesting. Under Andrew Tate's tweet, there were Muslim comments were like, "See, this is the end of Christianity," and they're saying, and so, but I mean, think about the thinking there. A Satanist in some room at a hotel is ripping up a Bible. Oh, this is going to destroy the religion. Like that's why it's in some of their head. Look, when someone does this, we have to respond with massive amounts of violence. Otherwise, our religion will just be destroyed if we don't go on a killing spree over to stop this. And that's notice the same reasoning from those Pakistani sheikhs. Do we need to burn entire cities to the ground to stop this blasphemy? And it's like, I mean, why can't you just be like, oh, someone wrote Muhammad on his penis and posted it online. I guess he wants attention. Why don't you ignore him? It's not like that. No, there has to be a bloodbath. We have to have investigators go in and find these people and so on. And it's like, guys, you give these people tons of attention for doing stuff, and then you're shocked when they do it more. Everyone is addicted to attention right now, and then you give them attention when they do something, and then you're shocked when they keep doing it.
Especially people who like to provoke others, people who like to provoke those they deem, I don't know, wrong or evil or whatever it is, will just be encouraged to double down. Like we had the example just recently with that streamer Destiny, who said something very mild about Islam, and Muslims responded with respect people's religions, and he then responded with a very disrespectful cartoon. People then responded with hate and with violence threats. He doubled down and made it even worse, and just kept going because the guy doesn't care about your threats, doesn't care about your sensationalism and your words. To him, it is a joy to provoke people who he thinks are doing something very wrong. And there are lots of people like that out there. If you want to draw attention to to people disrespecting your religion, then you are already doing a very, very wrong thing. You're going the wrong way. Turn around. Yep. That's why I rip up the Quran. Yeah.
It is interesting with the with Destiny and then IP and lots of other people. You see them doing this over and over again. Someone will mention something about Islam that they don't like or something, and then everyone attacks them, because that has been a pretty standard approach in Islam. When someone criticizes Islam, just shower them with insults and threats and abuse, and then they won't do that again. They'll learn. You're going to hardwire them very quickly not to criticize Islam because they don't like the abuse that comes right afterwards. But they don't catch on that okay, if you're talking about someone like Destiny or Inspiring Philosophy or something like that, these are guys that if they just drop their, they toss out a little criticism or something like that, if you reply like thoughtfully, like, oh, okay, let's go through this, they're going to go on their way and do what they were doing before. instantly start showering them with insults and abuse, now suddenly you've made an enemy who is going to pay even more attention to you. Is going to pay more attention to your religion and is going to find more things to object to. And this is what these Dawa guys and their fans are doing. They're creating their own enemies again, and they can't stop. They can't stop creating their own enemies.
Yeah. Oh, here's one for you, David.
Did Delaware and New Jersey, Idaho, Alaska, Idaho, Alaska.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, terrible.
Pretty bad.
I already saw these. Quran approach towards women, which is wrong from assumption. But what Quran approach toward women, which is wrong from assumption? But don't forget about that is the double-edged sword and stuff like MGTOW. I don't understand what this is meant to say exactly. I'm sorry. The Quran's approach toward women is wrong, but don't forget that it's a double-edged sword and stuff like MGTOW. MGTOW is men going their own way and refusing interactions with women or relationships with women. Can you understand what this is saying, David?
I do not.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, Lucas, but I don't understand it. I guess I don't know. But I appreciate it. Yes. House of Hikmah said, "Don't be cruel to Allah's Rasul." Yes, that's true.
Don't be cruel to Allah's Rasul.
Cool. Aidman Kill said, "Can we give the title of a prophet to AP? After all, the apocalypse churches were in Turkey. Maybe he can tell us how the end will be with a sea of blood." There will be no end. There will be an end. Something will happen in the future. There's the prophecy.
Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire.
Who is that?
Who was that? Was that Robert Frost? I think that was Robert Frost.
Interesting stuff. Good stuff. But, my prophecy is that Islam will end in 100 years, and people will die in the future. Those are my two prophecies. ES 1002 said, "I made the lost surah of suckling with ChatGPT. Please show, send it." Oh, speaking of ChatGPT,
It wasn't a lost surah. That was part of a lost surah. I mean, that was a lost part of a surah. That was in Surah 33.
Yeah.
So that was Aisha said that 2/3 of it came up missing. Ubay bin Ka'b said it was even more, but so they lost most of that chapter because the only people who had it memorized, a bunch of them died in battle, so they had to piece together what was left.
True story.
It is interesting that if you ask a Muslim how was the Quran preserved, they think that like tons of Muhammad's companions had memorized the entire Quran and so on. It's like it's total nonsense. If you read the sources, it's total nonsense. Like different people had parts memorized and so on.
Yeah.
And
there were
a couple people who said who would claim that they had it all memorized and so on. Then dudes die in battle and stuff, and then what are we gonna do? We lost over 100 verses from one chapter.
And one of the objections was also when the whole idea of compiling the Quran came up. One of the objections was the Prophet never told us to do this, so why are we doing this? That was one of the objections. Why are we doing something that that the Holy Prophet Muhammad never said?
Yes, they learned what was an ancient Chinese proverb, but the Chinese proverb was the weakest ink will outlast the strongest memory. And it's basically understood. Hey guys, oral tradition and so on. It's got some problems, especially if your community is in a state of perpetual warfare, and you've got this giant book to memorize. But yes, guys, don't ever forget the Quran was only compiled into a physical book because so much of it was lost. That was to protect more of the Quran from being lost. In other words, Abu Bakr said, "Hey, we've lost so much of the Quran by people dying in battle. we need to have a physical copy. And it wasn't meant, hey, here's a physical copy that we all share around. It was, let's put this into a physical copy and keep it in a room so that when more of us die, we don't lose more of the Quran that Allah gave us.
Precisely.
Somehow perfectly preserved right down to the letter forever.
Absolutely perfectly preserved completely. Muhammad Mahdi said golden showers. Just in that moment, David took a drink from something that I don't know.
It had to have a yellow label on it, right? Guys, it's coffee.
Oh boy.
Bright and mellow.
Yeah. For all those who just come in here and have no idea about the backstory and are wondering why is there something as obscene as golden showers on the screen, this is not us. It is most famous Muslim apologist Muhammad Hijab, who came on this channel and started talking about golden showers and other sex fantasies.
Yeah.
That's what we learned from him.
People were saying back then that they were having to look stuff up on Google because they didn't understand this perverted stuff he was referring to. And then they're like shocked when they see what he's referring to. And they're like, why is this guy such an expert? But I mean, this is the same guy who says that, non-Muslim women want to be raped by Muslim captors. It's the same guy who was sending out threats of rape and torture to people. It's the same guy who says that if you just read the Quran, you'll see that you can have sex with a 5-year-old. And this is the guy they idolize. It's amazing stuff.
I had to look up what a gimp is when he said it. I didn't know what a gimp is. I had no idea.
Yeah, there are two meanings of that. One, it's a derogatory term for a disabled person. But I don't know if, I mean, I first heard the term in Pulp Fiction, but there was that guy who was chained up in a box. There, it's like a sexual fetish thing of someone in bondage or something. Anyway, they called him the gimp. So
yeah, that's what a gimp is, and BDSM, sexual fantasies, activities.
Hijab seems to be the master of that.
Imagine this. Muhammad Hijab comes here and starts talking about these things, and tells people to be a gimp and give each other golden showers and this and that. And I'm like, what is a gimp? So I'm the atheist here, who is like, who according to him is like has no foundation for his morals, who is completely wicked and messed up and this and that. And he's the good Muslim guy who enjoys good morals, and he tells me what a gimp is, and I look it up and I think, why does he know about this stuff and tell me about this, and I don't know about this stuff and never even would bring it up in public? I don't know what's going on.
What is this dude sitting around doing on his computer that he's familiar with all this like super creepy stuff?
Yeah.
And then he tweets, "I love women."
Oh boy,
I love women.
Damon said, I don't know. I wish you collab with Adam Seeker, ex-Muslim Zayal. They have great reach here in India, the land that has suffered from radical Islamic mindsets. Happy to interact. I kind of feel like, meanwhile, the whole India ex-Muslims and the rest of the world ex-Muslims has kind of become a separate thing.
Yeah, it is. It's like, hey, you've got people who speak Urdu and stuff like that, and those guys should definitely be working together. And like I've been on with Adam Seeker before and so on.
Really?
And so, but it's at the end of the day, why wouldn't the Urdu speaking guys mainly work together, and then the English speaking people mainly work together and so on, since it's kind of different target audiences.
Yeah, that's right. I was just looking up a hadith in which Muhammad says, whatever, I don't care. So it's about the compilation of the Quran, and who is that? Omar said, by Allah, it is something beneficial. I consider it advisable that you, Abu Bakr, should have the Quran collected. I said, how dare I do something with which Allah's messenger did not do, referencing the compilation of the Quran. I guess this is Zayd ibn Thabit, who was one of the major compilers of the Quran, saying when he was told to compile the Quran into a book, he's saying, why would I do something that the Prophet never did? He never told us about this. Why am I doing this now? This is bad.
And there are all those. So Zayd ibn Thabit was the guy put in charge of compiling the Quran. Muhammad's original, he was also a younger guy. Muhammad's original guys, like Abdullah ibn Masud, had nothing but contempt for this guy. He said, hey, I had 70 surahs of the Quran memorized when he was still in the loins of a disbelieving man, right? Had nothing but contempt for Zayd ibn Thabit. So it's an interesting question. Why does Abu Bakr go with Zayd ibn Thabit when the people that Muhammad appointed as the best in their knowledge of the Quran had contempt for this guy? So, like, what in the world's actually going on in the compilation of the Quran? And then, of course, and Zayd did this twice. Once he did it under Abu Bakr, but then Uthman had him later come out with the official version. But there were differences between those two Qurans. There was differences between what he compiled under Abu Bakr and what he compiled under Uthman. He actually found a little bit more of the Quran when he compiled it under Uthman. So if you notice, if you had that original copy from the time of Abu Bakr, it wouldn't even line up with the Quran you guys have today.
Yeah,
it's wild stuff, man. And yet, perfect preservation right down to the letter, because I was told that.
Absolutely perfect preservation, which we can completely track and document from the very beginning, out of Muhammad's mouth into the shop, into your hands. You can completely trace that. No idea how. It's a miracle. Have you compared Mormonism against Islam? But I feel like this question has been brought up like in every single live stream in the last in the last 3 or 4 live streams or so. I don't know. Anakin Skywalker is among us and said, have you compared Mormonism against Islam? Both came hundreds of years after Jesus via an angel. They say the Bible is corrupted. Why one over another? Yeah, I did. I actually I had a live stream with an ex-Mormon woman whose name is Exmo-Lex, and we talked pretty much about the similarities between Islam and Mormonism in terms of morality and also how the religions kind of came into existence. And there is quite some stuff that can be compared there, especially there, how Joseph Smith was so much, was using God or the revelations for his own benefit and his own sexual desires, and Muhammad was doing the same thing in his own time. But yeah.
Hey, Anakin, have you compared Anakin Skywalker in the prequels with Darth Vader, who was actually cool? Because they don't seem to line up very well.
Yeah. Anakin was terrible. Yeah.
Since we're on the topic of Star Wars, I just pointed this out when I was live last night with Robert, that Vocab once during a debate, Vocab was doing a debate, and he said he's trying to, for new people, he's trying to show, compare the Bible and the Quran, and he says the Old Testament is like Star Wars: A New Hope. It introduces the characters, sets up the plot, and so on. And he says the New Testament is like The Empire Strikes Back, continues the plot and introduces, and he goes, the Quran wants to be Return of the Jedi, but it's more like Spaceballs. I don't know why, but I always think it's funny when Vocab breaks things down into Star Wars terms for everyone.
Yeah. Maybe the Quran is like the new Star Wars movies, which are arguably terrible.
Yeah. Spaceballs is actually better than some of the new.
Yeah, but seriously, the Anakin Skywalker, the worst acting in a good movie ever. Santosh Naidu made a super chat and didn't say anything, but thank you, I appreciate it. As I said, David, your thoughts on the Chosen series? Oh yeah, what do you think? What do you think about it?
Never seen it, so I have no.
What? How dare you, man?
I'm getting so many requests that I'll eventually have to watch it.
I have seen the whole series so far. I'm waiting for the next season.
See,
if
you're drawn to it.
If you were,
are you chosen?
I actually started watching it, and it was like, I don't know. I thought, hey, this looks like an interesting show that could put. Because I like it when historical things, or otherwise things are dramatized and put into movie form or series form. So I actually started watching it, and I thought, wait a minute, this is really good. Although corny in some ways, but very good, and maybe the best movie on the best religious film or series that I've ever seen so far.
That's why we need to make a Life of Muhammad movie, but like Monty Python style. You know what I mean?
The problem is once you bring Aisha in, you cannot put it on the screen, and
we'll just have like a little doll that is supposed to be Aisha the entire thing.
Oh boy. See, this is Islam, man. This is the problem with Islam. This is what we have to worry about when we talk about Islam. We have to worry about child marriage and how to depict it, how to get around this. This is Islam. What a religion.
Yeah, you can't even. I mean, we're all going to get banned for talking about child marriage so much when we're the ones criticizing.
Yeah, terrible stuff, man. Terrible stuff. Islam is stolen from the Sabian people. Big, if true, but hard to prove.
Definitely. I mean, some of it. I mean, according to like Al-Razi and so on, like the Shahada, the Sabians had a Shahada, La ilaha illallah.
Oh yeah.
And so they had that, and they I believe they prayed at 7 times of the day, and 5 of them were the same times as that Muslims pray. So there were some parallel, and I have read things where Muhammad and his followers were confused with Sabians. They were other people thought, oh, here's the Sabians, and no, we're Muslims, and so there was some overlap, but it's not. You can't just say Islam was stolen from the Sabian people. Islam was stolen from everyone, right? Islam took a piece of everything. Islam took some Judaism. Islam took some Christianity. Islam took some paganism, a bunch of different paganism. Islam took a little bit from everything, and rolled it up into a giant ball.
Took and never gave back. ES1002 said, I pasted it in your community tab of spinning remixes. I will check it. Oh, wait a minute. I will check it out right now. Let's see. I'll check it out right now. Why can I not look up my YouTube? I think I just got banned from YouTube while we were live. Yeah. No, here I am. Here I am. What is this? What is this? This is ChatGPT creating the lost verses for breastfeeding. Is that what we're talking about here? Let's see. What does it say? For you, AP and David, chapter of the mother. O believers, we have revealed this guidance to you so that you may ponder the wisdom that is within you. We have revealed a law that protects male and female believers in order to preserve their purity and dignity. O believing women who fear us, for those of you who wish to reveal themselves to those whom you may marry, you must nurse them 5 times and make them like your own children. Whether milk enters men from your breast or a full cup is up to you and only you. This feeding should be done with humility and decency. We have revealed this law to protect believing women. Your milk makes them sons, and you make them their mother. On the 5th and last drink, you may reveal yourself to them as your marriage to them is no longer legitimate. O believing women who fear us, know that we sent this law to protect you and the sanctity of all your relatives. Through this nursing process, we have given you the wisdom to maintain your purity and honor. So fear us and follow our commandments, for we are the knowing, the wise.
Chapter of the mother.
A few things would need to be fixed here. Some of the language, like we, would be, there should be an abundant mention of Allah, and Allah is this, and Allah is that, and Allah is the most knowing, Allah is the most wise, and fear Allah. And then it also lacks some completely irrelevant stuff in the middle of the verses that has nothing to do with the rest. That is one of the central features of the Quran, that it's like has some random stuff appearing in the middle of a verse or a chapter, and you have no idea why that is there. But that's a miracle, if you ask Muslims. Other than that, this is by ChatGPT. What do you think, David?
I mean, it's as good as anything else in the Quran.
And we know what that means. Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. That's good. Nice. Nice. Okay. Where is 2 Mojab Ali Farid Zakir Naik destroyed? Yes. I agree. WLZXX said, one thing that always bothered me was that the Quran says it revealed to Mo in the form of a book, 548:14:1. Yet the tradition says it was compiled after Mo's death. How does that make sense? In my esteem, it makes sense only in so far as that the Quran, when it talks about a book, is not talking about an actual physical book.
Correct.
It talks about a revelation.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, like Homer would go around reciting the Iliad and so on. You could refer to that work even though it's just in his head. You didn't have to write the stuff down. So yeah, it's more common for us to think of a book as specifically a physical thing, whereas in their mind you've got the book. You've got the book in our combined heads.
Yeah.
We've got it all right here. Oops, we lost a bunch of it.
Oopsie, it's gone. Nick's Highlander said, can't wait to watch the whole video after work. You're supposed to watch it now. Otherwise, you're not a true believer. But yeah. And we are done. No, there's a lot more here. There's a lot more stories, but we are done. That one. I'll just read 2 more, then we'll go. It uses the word kitab, which means book, repeatedly. Yes, but
yeah, we know that.
Yeah, I'm aware of that as well. But that would also be in reference to a complete revelation, which later comes to be known as a physical book. But initially, it doesn't have to mean a book with a cover and pages. That's how I find it and see it in its historical context. Historian Tom Allen says that 5 daily prayers and apostasy laws were taken from Zoroastrianism. You should both bring him on your respective shows. I would like to talk to that guy one day. Daily prayers, possible. I would argue that probably different cultures in the region had such things, such daily prayers. But I mean, he's the scholar. He's saying these things. I would like to read on what he actually says and what he argues from. It would be interesting to figure out. Yep. Zoroastrianism was quite an interesting. What is your guys' opinion in hell annihilationism?
What's your opinion on hell, AP? What's your position?
Sure. Don't ask me. I would, as an outsider, say that I don't think it agrees with the scriptures of the different religions, but that's just me. John Scott said, Apostate, Kafir, and ex-Sheikh Dawood Wood, a team clearly made in Jahannam from before the shin of Allah. God bless you, brothers. Thank you. And that's it. We're through.
We haven't talked enough about that shin passage. That needs to be more. That needs to be made common knowledge.
Allah has 1 leg. He has 1 leg. That's it. Right?
I mean, you can't say he has more than 1 leg.
Yeah.
He could have more than 1 leg, but you can't say beyond what he's actually said. He said he has a shin.
But what we can say that he has 2 hands, both of them on the right, and he has 1 leg. That's all we can say about it.
And then 2 feet. So in drawings, people will have 1 leg going down with 2 feet sticking out of it. And that's what what's his face? Mufti Abu Layth was cracking up laughing, saying that the Salafis will say all of this stuff. And then they'll say, but don't try to picture it in your mind. He's like, what? Too late, man.
It's too late, mate.
A funny dude.
Oh, how about this, David? How about this? Are you looking for a way to do this?
Hold on. Hang on. just take a comment or 2 real quick.
Okay. I sent this message to David several days ago. I was messing with ChatGPT, which I love now, and I was trying different things, and then I told ChatGPT, "Hey, write Quran chapter 9, verse 29 and 30 in the style of Ali G," and it actually did. And I sent this to David, and he found this very funny. So let's see what happens now. Lucas Legoshi said, what about collapse of values like men's rights, including violence toward men, being considered as toxic masculinity and misogynistic? I mean, these could be problems if you consider them problems in today's time. I guess we all have our different opinions on them, but you know, everything has its own place, and this is not one of those places. Like I would probably completely disagree with many of you on this stuff. But then again, that's the whole point of me making this channel in the very beginning. I said I would make a channel named Apostate Prophet that is solely focused on Islam, where I will not bring in different discussions, because there are lots of channels where people want to criticize Islam and then also include all their other stuff, and I don't want to be one of those people. I want to make a channel that is solely focused on one issue and deals with that, so that there is no dividing, no division, no you are not welcome here, only you can come here, and so on. Which is why this is also one of those topics that I wouldn't really want to discuss here. I don't really care, and I personally don't care. So if you want to ask me personally, yeah. AP on that breakdown of what missing surah needed more of. David is now seriously. I think he went to get some stuff to make himself look like Ali G. I hope there are enough people here who know who Ali G is, right? I hope there are enough people here who are old enough to know who Ali G is. How many people know who Ali G is? So Ali G is this is Sacha Baron Cohen's character, where he plays a guy in England who speaks with a heavy street accent, whatever you call that in England, and it's just an amazing parody. I first became aware of him, of the character, when I watched a movie. What was that? The movie was called Ali G in the House, right? There was a special movie that he made with that character, which was just ridiculous. It was so absurd. The typical humor of Sacha Baron Cohen. And I found it hilarious when I was younger. I tried to watch it later on, and I thought, this is very absurd. But yeah, Black Angel just sent me an image of somebody else who looks like Ali G. That's funny. Let's bring that up. Let me bring that up while we're waiting for David. La 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 la. What is this? I can't even open this here. This is weird. Yes. Huh. I can't even open this image here for some reason. Oh, here I got it. There it is. Yeah, Black Angel just sent me this and said this is Ali G, but it's not. This is Ali D. It's not Ali G. Ali G is cooler. Yeah. All right. Right. I hear David. I really wonder what's going to happen now.
Hey, yo. I knew I had this somewhere.
You actually did it. You actually did it. Wow.
Hey, the glasses aren't going to work, though, because these aren't even the right glasses. The glasses aren't going to match, man.
Man. And
All right, this is the best I can do.
wait a minute. Let me see if the outfit is good enough, if it checks out. So here we got this guy. You think good enough? Yeah, good enough.
Yo. Yeah, I don't have the matching glasses, man.
Yeah, sad. Okay, here you go. Ali G is supposed to read Quran chapter 9, verse 29 and 30 to us. Go ahead, Ali G. Everybody's waiting for you.
Yo, listen up, believers. Y'all gotta fight against them peeps who ain't believing in Allah, the big G, or the last day, innit? They ain't respecting what Allah and his messenger be teaching or following the true religion like them peeps of the book until they pay the tax with their own hands and recognize their place, aight? Check this out, bruv. Some of the peeps of the book be saying, yo, Christ be the son of Allah, and others be like, Ezra be his son, isn't it? But that's just mad talk, and they be repeating what the unbelievers said before him. May Allah throw down some smack on them, for they be proper messed up. You get me?
That was good.
That's classic.
That was good, man. I'm just wondering about one thing. Why do you have that outfit?
For just such an occasion. Never know when you're going to need something, right?
Wow, that was good. We should do more of these things. I also asked it to recite chapter 4, verse 34. And it kept throwing in that whole thing, like give him a light tap. And I was like, no, not light. It doesn't say light. Without that, do it. And it kept messing it up. But I'm gonna figure it out. And then maybe we should have a whole Ali G recites the Quran channel or series.
Hey, that dude
can do this.
Yeah. We could do a bunch of them. I could even get the matching glasses. Hey, that dude that was actually a funny dude, man.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Hey, he said he went to. I saw one where he went to an animal, a farm veterinarian, right? So this is a guy who is a veterinarian for farm animals, but the entire time Ali G thinks it's a zoo, but like a real crap zoo. He keeps calling it a crap zoo. But then he asked this dude, he goes, yo, how come there was so many sick animals in Vietnam? And the guy goes, there weren't that many sick animals in Vietnam. He goes, then how come I be hearing about all of these Vietnam vets? And and then the dude had to try and explain the difference between veterinarian and veteran, and Ali G wouldn't get it. But that was funny stuff.
I need to go back and watch a lot of Ali G stuff just to get in the movie.
Check.
Yeah. We forgot the most important thing, the Booyakasha.
Booyakasha.
Yeah. That's quality stuff, man. Is it still? Does he still do Ali G stuff, or is that dead?
No, because I mean, I think he'll occasionally appear as him for something, but his characters are mainly based on the idea of people not knowing who the characters are.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So you could catch people off guard, but so after a while, people find out who the character is, so you can't really do them anymore because it loses the effect.
Yeah. That's brilliant though. That's brilliant stuff. Oh, please ask ChatGPT to calculate the weak prophecy in Daniel 9. Don't know what that is about. Do you?
Yeah. That's a prophecy where supposedly it's like down to the day of, I think, Jesus entering Jerusalem or something like that.
Cool. Nicholas Katsila said next time you should dress like Borat and and AP like his friend in movie Azamat Ken Davidian. I don't know.
Man, I need a bunch of rings, but this could be your thumbnail right here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait, hold on. Here. Okay. That's you. West side.
That's wood, man. Wood.
No, it's west side.
It's the wood.
It's wood side.
Wood side.
Oh boy. Did you watch that movie that he made with Ali G? There was Ali G in the house.
I thought that sucked.
I know it did. That's what I was just talking about earlier when you were grabbing your stuff. As a teenager, I found that very funny, but then later I watched it and I thought, okay, that's kind of weird.
I saw a bunch of clips of the Ali G show. I thought he was hilarious in that. But yeah, the movie, I was like, oh, it's going to be funny like that. It looks like just something they tossed togetger because he got popular real quick.
Yeah,
Like, hey, let's make a movie. Some people do that. Oh, this guy's popular. Let's make a movie out of it real quick. And it was crap.
It was.
I can't remember anything from the movie. I remember I saw it and thought this was crap.
I can remember a few things there. There's like this whole west side, east side fight going on, this unnecessary dumb stuff. I remember one part where he's tied to a fence with his pants down. That's all I remember. Lukas Ligoshki said, I agree. We may have completely different view for certain points, but if you're taking side of a part of society regarding violence, ignoring the rest, it is called hypocrisy and double standards. I don't think so. We're talking about Islam specifically here, so I don't care. This is an earlier conversation which you don't know about because you were gone.
Well, it sounds like a really intriguing conversation.
Absolutely. Best conversation ever. It's the best conversation ever. And we are done. We're done. I'm not Abdul made a super chat, and that is it. We're done. Thank you. Thanks everybody. Thanks everyone. David, sorry, Ali G. Anything else you want to add?
Yo, all yous need to be joining me and the main man Andrew Tate and them dude they call Sneeko in saying big up to Islam. Y'all need to Islamize.
Anything else?
Peace.
And what do you say to those who don't like Islam?
Yo, y'all need to check yourselves before you wreck yourselves.
Okay. Good enough. I changed your name here on the screen to Ali G. I hope you're fine with that. With that said, with that out of the way, thanks everybody for watching. And we will be here once again tomorrow on David Wood's channel, where we will talk about something. I have no idea what.
I was thinking I'll have to watch the video first, but now we've been talking about how like Muhammad Hijab's new goal is to get on everyone's podcast and stuff, but now he's demanding to be on like Steven Crowder's podcast. So maybe look at a little bit of that. Interesting. It was Steven Crowder talking to Alex Jones about Islam, and then Muhammad Hijab saying, "Oh, why don't you get me on there to talk about this?" And yeah, we might go through a little bit of that. I wouldn't mind going through some of the highlights from Crowder's old videos on Islam, and then more recent events, and then with the Muhammad Hijab thing.
They'll be unbearable for me, to be honest. Did he only make a tweet about that whole Alex Jones, Steven Crowder thing, or did he also make a video about this?
He made I haven't seen it, but he made like a 9-minute video.
He actually did. Of course he did, man.
Yeah, and it says it's the thumbnail said something like stay in your lane or something like that. No, stay in your space or something like that. But it's the same idea of like, hey, it's twofold. It's one, they're still trying to tell people to shut up from talking about Islam, and the other is actually trying to get on the podcast because their main goal in life is to get access to people's followers who don't know any better when it comes to the stupid Dawa arguments. Yeah, so stay in your lane.
Here's this. It says stay in your lane. Here's by the way, here's a very good video. It's called The End of Muhammad Hijab. I recommend watching it. But no, here, stay in your lane. Amazing. Shouldn't they learn from this stuff? I mean, they send Muhammad Hijab to have a conversation with Jordan Peterson. Not much later, Jordan Peterson ends up saying, "I don't buy your Allah."
I don't buy your Allah.
Yeah. it obviously doesn't work. Jordan Peterson is now more distant to Islam, as it seems. Maybe it's not working. Maybe maybe people don't react very well to this whole strategy here. Maybe it's not a good idea to set up a conversation between Mohammed Hijab and Steven Crowder, or
Yeah,
even Mohammed
I mean-
Hijab and Alex Jones.
I mean, I'd be pretty comfortable with them getting Mohammed Hijab, Ali Dawa, and Daniel Hakikachu on there for a little interview about child marriage and what the Quran says about child brides and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
And hey, if anyone wants to tell Steven Crowder to get in touch with these guys and have them all on, I can provide some video clips that would be hot topics for discussion during that podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Muhammad Hijab saying that according to the Quran, you can have sex with a 5-year-old. Ali Dawa saying that if his daughter got her first period at the age of 9, he'd tell her he's ready to be married. Daniel Hakikachu, pretty much anything he's ever said would be good. You just pick a random clip of Daniel Hakikachu and
my daughter.
And then of course the secret second wives and so on. There's plenty of stuff to talk about. So definitely want to get these guys on your podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I personally think due to recent events with Steven Crowder, maybe they thought he's actually a good candidate for Islam. After the whole thing came out, Steven Crowder being very abusive to his wife, maybe they thought, hey,
I was wondering about the timing as well, because Steven Crowder's been talking about Islam for years, and all of a sudden he's like in meltdown mode, and they're like, "Oh, we want to come on your show." It's like, what? Wait, what?
Well, they heard wife abuse, and they thought,
"Oh yeah,
Islam. Yeah. Let's get this guy. Get this guy."
They're like, see, all you do is abuse her verbally. We can show you how to really abuse her.
Oh boy!
And you get Daniel Hakikachu on there. Be like, well, the alternative is to let the state abuse them. You don't want the state beating your wife, do you? Like in every non-Islamic country, the state comes in and beats your wife.
The iron fist of the state.
Yeah, who would you rather have beating your wife into submission, the state or you? Those are the only two options. Either you beat your wife or the state beats her. There is no third option. Someone is beating your wife. Who do you want to do it?
Perfect stuff, man. All right. Thanks, everybody. Until next time, have a fantastic day. And as I always say, and as Ali G also will say this time,
Booyakasha.
And
Booyakash, stay away from Islam.
Or as Sajid Libim always says,
stay away from Islam.
Yeah.